Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the organ at First Congregational Church of Kent. Last week, if you joined me, we went through some of the basic controls of the instrument, also some of the tone families. We went through the reeds and the principals or diapasons, the foundation of the instrument. Today, we're going to go through the strings and the flutes of the organ, of this organ. So, in the swell here, we have one set of strings here in the positive, Vox Celeste 2 strings, and that's really it. That's what we have for strings. But we'll start with the positive. It sounds like this. Now, I prefer the strings on the swell better. They sound something like this. And if this were a pipe organ, the way the strings work is there's actually two sets of pipes. And one of them is tuned either sharp or flat to the other one. So with just the string there and then it's Celeste, you can hear the difference. It sort of gives an undulating effect. So those are all the strings that we have to show you here. Now flutes, we have a lot of flutes. We'll start on the positive with the 8-foot Holzgedeckt. Also with its 4-foot Koppelflöte. On the great we have a flute harmonique. Again with its 4-foot partner Spitzflöte. And then in the swell, we have an 8-foot Borden with its 4-foot flute partner. So there we have the flutes and the strings. I'd like to play a short little piece that shows off the strings well here. It's called Communion Meditation by John Dixon. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's a little bit long, but I'm going to play just part of it so you can get a sense of how it's supposed to sound. So there's a little excerpt from it, and you get a sense of how you can use the strings for like a nice meditative effect. Now, I showed you most of the basic controls. There are some more complex things, like this Allen Vista. It's a small drawer here that I can pull out, and basically it allows me to choose different instruments that are not available here on the stops. So for example, in the swell, we can have a piano. There's hundreds of sounds, so I'll just go through a few with them. And they're available through these stops that say MIDI, the musical instrument digital interface. There's one on the great, one on the swell, one on the pedal, and the positive is up here. I don't know why they did that and didn't put it as a knob, but anyway. So you can have all these MIDI sounds. You can save them in your pistons. If you remember, we went through last week the pistons and what they do. They save your registrations. There's all sorts of things on here, all sorts. What else do we have here? electric piano, cello, I mean, anything you could imagine we can do here. There's also, on this side, there's another small drawer that you pull out. And this contains the acoustic portrait, the transposer, and the control bank for the memory. So not only do you have just these pistons here to set, but there's actually different memory levels, up to 16 of them. So if you have other organists coming in and they want to set their own pistons and toe studs, then you can give them a memory level and they'll have all of it available to themselves. The transposer here, what that does is it changes the key of the piece that you're playing. You can either go 7 half steps down or 5 half steps up, which is really a handy thing to have. Maybe you have a hymn that maybe goes a little bit high, you can turn it down a half step or a whole step to make it a little bit more accessible for people to sing. The acoustic portrait, what that does is it creates a different acoustic with the organ, so we can add like a reverb here. I'll show you in 1 second. We'll use the cathedral setting. And what else can we show you here? Well, we can go through some of the stops, I guess, some more of them. We've heard all the tone families already, the chimes, the celeste. I went through the bass and melody coupler and manual transfer with you. And now we can do a little playing, I guess. Let's get this fun piece, actually. This postlude based on Lobed and Heron with Praise to the Lord is pretty fun and shows off a lot of the fun stuff on the organ. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you now. It's by John Dixon. So that's a really fun arrangement of the hymns. I enjoy playing different arrangements of hymns and reharmonizations. And it's great on this organ because there's so many options for sounds. like I said last week, we have different sound on the swell, different sound on the great, different sound on the positive. And it's a lot of fun. I'm happy to be here. And I hope you enjoy it this week as much as you enjoyed last week. And have a great day.